Good morning, English 10. This is Mrs. Sopiarz-Rianda, and I just wanted to welcome you to another week of Raisin in the Sun. This is our last session of the Raisin in the Sun, and this week you finished reading it last session, and in this session you're going to be writing your first essay. So I just wanted to click on materials to get started. And you can see our schedule is right here, and this is our last session of Raisin in the Sun, and it goes through today, September 25th, Wednesday, through October 1st. And as always, the way we get started is to click on Unit 1, Session 4. And before we do that, I want to make sure that you review the suggested schedule of the week. I highly recommend that you follow the schedule, especially for this week. This week, you only have really only two things to do, but they're pretty big things. And you need to do them by a certain time. And it's really important in online school, in life, to have daily goals. If you have a daily goal, you know what you need to do, you accomplish it, and you move on. And this is one week that is very true. Okay, so Wednesday, the first thing that you do on Wednesday is you review the curriculum by reading all of the slides. You also watch this video. If last week, which many of you didn't, if you did not work through the turnitin.com MLA curriculum folder last week, also there was an academic integrity aspect of that and a quiz. That folder is also in this session. You'll also need to review that if you haven't already and take notes because you will be creating a turnitin.com account this week. With writing your essay, you're going to be submitting your essay into turnitin.com and Schoology. So this folder will walk you through how to create an account for our class, how to submit your essay, and also how to see the feedback, because that's also super important as well. Not only do you want to submit your work, but you need to go back and review my feedback, because that's the way you develop your writing and become a better writer, aka get better grades as well. So we'll do that on Wednesday. On Thursday, you will begin drafting your 3 paragraphs. Now, with this essay that you're going to be writing this week, you're basically going to be writing the meat of an essay. The introduction and the conclusion we're going to say for another time, probably in the next session. Right now, we're just focusing on the meat. So you will be drafting 3 paragraphs for this essay and draft them on Thursday, because on Friday you're going to submit those drafts. You're going to submit that draft, those 2 to 3 paragraphs for this discussion board, and provide feedback to your peers. Now, here's the thing. This discussion is due on Friday. I'm going to say that again. Discussion assignment is due on Friday. So on Friday, you are required to submit at least 2 of your 3 paragraphs onto the discussion board so that your classmates can do peer editing and that you can do peer editing for your classmates. On Monday, you're going to take that peer editing from your classmates and revise your paragraphs. And on Tuesday, finalize those paragraphs, polish them up, check the MLA formatting in that folder, remember, and submit it into 2 places, turnitin.com and Schoology. So again, you're going to be turning it into 2 different places, turnitin.com and in Schoology. Okay, so again, highly suggested schedule. So click on the materials. As always, what you do is click Next to navigate through this session and all sessions. So Unit 1, Session 4, Plan. Basically, gets you updated on what needs to be done. This is also where the place where this video is going to be, along with that suggested schedule again. Click Next to navigate through. Here is the actual assignment. So in Raisin in the Sun, you're going to be writing your essay on theme. Now, and I'm sure you've heard the word theme, you've talked about theme, you probably know what theme is, but a lot of people don't know what theme is. And this is a really great example of what theme is not. A non-example. Remember, it's a complete sentence. It's an implied meaning about a word or subject that the author makes. So for example, the subject friendship is just that. It's a subject. An implied meaning that the author is trying to make about friendship is theme. So for example, the subject is friendship, but a theme can be a key theme of my novels that friendship is difficult to maintain as friends change and grow apart. Only by carefully tending to a relationship, a friendship, can it continue to grow. So that is a complete sentence, an implied meaning about that subject. So in this assignment, you are going to be creating 3 paragraph responses to the below prompt right here. Each of your paragraphs must follow the Whopper paragraph format. And it's attached down here for your reference. And here is also a video to watch that Mr. Macy created to walk you through how to write a Whopper paragraph. You need a Whopper paragraph for each paragraph of this essay. Okay, so the prompt is really a series of questions. What is the most important theme of the play? Which characters in the play demonstrate that theme? How is this theme taught to readers? How do style and figurative language contribute to development of the theme? And be sure to share several key details from the novel to support your discussion of the theme. And again, by using the Whopper format template on the bottom there, that won't be an issue. So you can see very conveniently so that there are 3 questions in this prompt. I would highly, highly recommend that you devote your 3 Whopper paragraphs to one of the 3 questions in the paragraph. So take a paragraph to answer each one of those questions in the prompt. Okay, so this is the first big writing assignment of the year. And so like I mentioned earlier, we're going to use Turnitin.com for grading. And the assignment must be formatted per MLA and turned into Schoology and Turnitin.com. Okay, now I'm going to expect formatting per MLA for quotations that you take from the play to support your topics. I'm going to say that again. You're going to use quotes from the play to support your topics in these paragraphs. You need to cite those sources properly, and MLA, that folder, will show you exactly how to do that. And if you have any questions, as always, you can contact me too. Okay, so again, here's that video. Be sure to review it. And here's that template. I highly recommend using it for each one of your body paragraphs. Now here's the rubric that I'll be using to grade your theme essay. And what I would highly recommend is just focusing on the 5, because that's really what you want. You want to be exceptional. So what you should do is look at each one of these criteria and be sure that you meet those criteria in your essay. Click Next here. So this is where you're going to submit at least 2 of the 3 paragraphs. And again, this is due on Friday, this Friday. So after posting your draft, read at least 2 other drafts. For those 2 papers by your peers, comment on at least 2 of the following. So these are all the different elements in the rubric, or several of the elements in the rubric. Be sure that you review or comment at least on 2 of the 4 here. again on Friday. And this is going to take you into the Academic Integrity, Turnitin.com, and MLA resources. This is the folder that if you didn't go through last week, I included it specifically for you to go through this week. And you'll also, while you're going through this folder, you're going to learn on how to create a Turnitin.com account, how to submit your assignment, and how to get feedback. All the information is in that folder. After you are done reviewing that, the assignment that you are turning in to Schoology has to be submitted on October 1st. Okay, so October 1st, if you don't know, it's probably the most important day of the entire school year for all schools, because that's when we get our funding. So basically, we take attendance on October 1st. Everyone in the state of Colorado takes attendance on October 1st. And for those students that are in attendance, that is how we get funded. Every student is allotted a certain dollar amount. So for every student that sits in a virtual seat on October 1st, that's how we get funded to have J21VA. So for that reason, the assignment that you are submitting into Schoology, your actual essay, has to be turned in to Schoology on October 1st. You can turn it into Turnitin.com anytime you want, but the Schoology version must be turned in on October 1st. And the folder would come available on the next page on October 1st. Okay, so if you have any questions about that, please let me know. And then you'll be submitting your assignment right here come October 1st, Tuesday, October 1st. You'll be submitting your essay, your theme essay here. And then you will be done with the session. And then we're going to be moving on to short stories next week. If you have any questions about anything this week, please contact me. I am here to help, and have a fantastic week.